Hello everybody, I'm back with part 3 of the Lapbook. This should be a pretty quick little project. I just want to make a very flat pocket for here because this is what we have so far. So we have the Lapbook and it's a Reader's Digest, and I have the 2 halves, and then last time I made this opening gusseted double pocket gusseted 3-dimensional thing. So there are pockets there, and there's a magnet over here that keeps it open, and then there's a magnet over here that allows it to close up right there. So because this is fairly dimensional, I thought what we needed on this panel, because this closes like this, with something pretty flat. So what I think I'm going to do right now is I've cut this piece. This is, once again, Fox Creative. Oh my gosh, what's the name of the kit? It just flew out of my head. Compendium. And I have cut it to size. It is 7.5 in height and 4 7/8 in width, and I've inked the edges and I've sewn around it. And this is not compendium. This is a sheet from Dusty Florals, and Dusty Florals, I've printed this out on vellum, and it's specifically for the printer. Now I have a terrible printer. It's an Epson, it's not an Eco Tank, and I have to fight with it to get it to print on vellum. And I usually tape it to another piece, but I found out, or I don't know if this is a fluke, but I got frustrated and I stuck the vellum into the back, like one piece at a time shoot, and it printed it out much better on that. So I have just folded and made little edges, tabs, fold under tabs on 3 of the sides. And oops, that one's not quite cut enough. It was hard to see the edges of this. So I'm just gonna cut this down just a smidge more so that these fold nicely under. And I'm gonna eventually glue that down, those edges down. And I'm going to glue the top down as well. It's not going to be a slide-in pocket. It's going to be one of these postal pockets. And so what I want to make for here is like a little notebook, and have the back of the notebook slide in. And I wanted it to be a little room, so it's not a really super tight fit, but I didn't want to be too loose either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this up for now. And like I said, this is going to be real quick. And I'm going to glue this down right here. I think I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. Oops. So I'm going to glue this down like this. And then I will cut the slot. I'll show you how I'm planning on doing that. So this this piece here is just a piece of old file folder. It's a piece of offcut from when I made the other gusseted 3-dimensional thing. And so all I'm going to do, this is super simple. I'm just going to make holes on the ends here. I think I'm going to use the small holes. And this is a pen line where I've just marked the edges and the center line. And I'm going to make holes over the dots. And then I usually use my cutter, but I was just wondering, I don't think this will be long. No, that won't be long. It would be cool to punch that through with a slot punch, but it's not going to reach. So I will do what I normally do, and I just bring down my cutter and I will flatten those edges out for a sec. And I'm just going to line this line up with the groove where cut. And I'm going to do slightly to one side of the line. And then I put my blade down in the hole and I go from hole to hole. And you can kind of feel it release. And then I'll lift it up and I'll move it to do the other side of the line. And then I'll put my blade down in the hole and go hole to hole. And that will cut out a little strip. Oh, it didn't go all the way through. Huh, that's interesting. Oh, it did. I just hadn't pulled it out. There. Okay, so now what I think I will do, you can sew around this, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I kind of like how neat and tidy it looks at the moment. So I'll put the cutter away. And I'm going to glue this to this. So I'm going to recrease those edges, those little flaps. And I'm going to put a bead of Fabri-Tac. And I'm also going to put a bead across the top because I do want this to close up at the top. But I want that kind of to be pinched down. So I don't want it to be completely fluffy and like gusseted. All the way around, just a little bit. So it's not, so you don't have to fight to get things in. So that's going to wind up right like that. And this is going to wind up right like this. So you can see the stitching. You can see everything basically through the vellum. I really enjoy, once the vellum is printed, I like having things printed on vellum. I love that it adds to the layering. So I can see both the image and layers of image that were printed onto the vellum, as well as the card beneath it. Okay. As I said, printing on my printer, getting it to print on vellum is always a little bit of a struggle. You have to fight with it a little bit, but it's worth it. And then this whole piece, I'm going to glue. I'm going to leave those strings onto this board. And again, I'm just going to use the Fabri-Tac because there is some fabric underneath. Yeah, I did ink up those edges. Panicked for a second, but I did. I inked them up. Okay. And then I'm going to try and line this up as straight as possible. There we go. And it covers the raw. Oops, it needs to move that way a little bit. I don't want it to interfere with the hinge. There's a lot of room on that side. So yeah, so there we go. Super fast little pocket project. And then I will make, when I start to make all the tucks and everything, The thing I intend to make for this will be a little pad of paper that you can pull out and write on, but the back of the pad will slide into here, so it'll be removable and exchangeable. And there we go. So once again, that is part 3. And I wanted to keep that pretty flat because that's pretty dimensional. And then we'll start to work on we'll start to work on the other side, which I don't have anything for yet. So again, hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining me. Please, if you would, click like and subscribe and say hello. Have a great day. Stay safe. Bye-bye.